Hello, this is Robert Radford. Another game from 50 Years of Chess. It was played on the 8th of November 1995. My opponent was, I believe, E.Hill-Wood. And it was a match between South Bristol and University. And I was white, and I played E4. E6, D4, D5, Knight C3, Bishop B4 and E5. C5, this is the French defence and it's all classical at the moment. I played Queen G4. This is a line that is rare, but it's good. So I'm hitting that to G7 pawn. And he played bishop, knight 2, that's right, knight 2, E7, yep, A6, queen A5, so I can't play pawn takes bishop because he's got queen takes rook, so this is an interesting game. Let's get on with it. I play bishop, so bishop takes knight, I can retake with the bishop and not lose the rook in the corner. Pawn takes pawn, queen takes pawn, knight c6 from b8. But I can prevent that knight from being able to take my queen, bishop b5 check. And so he's taken knight so that the bishop's hanging now. So I've got to take the knight check. He takes, and then I take the queen with the bishop. So this way, no pieces have been lost. Queen takes, bishop takes. Now, Mr. E.Hill-Wood played E4, believing he's won a piece, and for now he has. But if he doesn't take my bishop, I will have a way. My bishop will prevent him from castling. So he's taken the pawn. He's taken the pawn, and I've castled queenside. So I'm immediately attacking that pawn, and he's gone back to defend it. And now I'm attacking it again. So he defends it with the E pawn. He's got the pawn, but he's behind on development, and it's going to cost him if he doesn't watch it. Rook across now, hitting that E pawn. So he's defended that with the F pawn. And I just say, okay, well, I'll have my pawn back, thanks. With knight takes D4. If he goes knight takes, I play rook takes. So I got my pawn back. But he does have the benefit of knight takes bishop, pawn takes, which doubles up two of my pawns, but it's not a problem here at the moment. Castles, knight back to b3, bishop to f5. That's a good developing move. Rook d6, rook c8. Now he's threatening my f pawn, my c pawn here. So I just move it up one square, and that stops that. So now he's offering rook swap. He takes, I takes, b6, c, f3. I'm going to try and deny the bishop squares to move on here, because generally bishops are better than knights in open spaces, but the more clogged up it gets, the knight will prove to be a better piece. Rook c7 to protect that pawn on a7. So king, moving the king up now, as we're going into an endgame. Rook takes rook, bishop takes rook. And now I'm advancing some of my pawns, getting them on the best squares, really good squares. Knight, and then I've gone b5. So he's got no diagonals, he's got nothing like on the a8, h1 diagonal. He can't get on that without going back and get on to b2. But by then you've lost a lot of tempo. Right, so he's pushing his kingside pawns up because he's got a 4-3 advantage there. So I've got to counter that with my kingside pawns. And I'm moving my king into the middle. He's played g4. This is not beneficial to take that. So I'm going to go back to b1 to go to c3 and then look at occupying the d5 square and also covering the e4 square. King d6, knight c3, bishop into e5. That's a good move because now my pawn is kind of stuck there. My king has to defend it, and if he pushes a pawn on e4, pawn takes, and I take, then he will take my c-pawn. It's going to be difficult. So I've gone knight to a4. Pawn takes, e4, pawn takes. Pawn takes. Now I'm not going to take immediately because you'll see what my plan is. King up to d4, and as he pushes a pawn on, hoping I'll take it and then he can take the c4 pawn, I just play c5, check. And he can't take, so I'll just take again and undo my 2 pawns. So now I can take the pawn. So that's given me, I believe, 2.5 on Stockfish advantage. So it's looking good now. I'm looking much better in this game. He's gone a6, pawn takes, b takes c. Now that's a mistake. He should have taken with the bishop, I think. But it's now giving me a 5.5 lead. a7, he's got to go after that pawn, and he's gone right in the corner. So his king's out of the way, a very long way away now. And this is giving me a 5.4 now. Yeah, so this is good. King up, bishop back, hit my pawn, I just move it up. Can't touch either of those pawns with his bishop. King up, trying to block off the pawn from going forward. Now I'm looking to go to knight to f6 and pick up the h-pawn. He's attacking a knight. There you go, he cannot stop that pawn. Knight takes pawn, bishop back. He probably should have moved the pawn on, but he would have given me a pass pawn anyway, so no, not really. Knight back to f4, hitting the bishop. Bishop f1. Knight up to g5 again. Bishop to e2, protecting the pawn. Knight check. King back to c7. And the right move here is to go across to that pawn and take it with my knight, and he can have the other pawn, then I'll have 2 clear pass pawns. And it's game over. And Edward resigned. So I have 11.0 advantage on Stockfish. It's one game about 10 times over, so I was pleased with that. Pleased with being able to come up against a tricky little player who found little moves to make it difficult for me. His rating was not that great at that time, but about 112, which would have been 1500 and something. But he did improve, and even today he's playing now. He plays in the London area, and he's got about 1700 grade, I think, something like that. So he stopped playing for a while, but then come back, and he's playing quite actively, and he's got a decent grade. So Edward or Eddie, he's done well. So thank you for that. I hope you enjoyed the game, and I'll bring you back another one tomorrow. Okay, thank you.